I feel like this, you might know what I'm talking about with like, have you heard? Because I've seen people. This is a thing where you think like you're the only person that does it, and then you see somebody mention it online. You're like, oh, and then everybody's like, oh, you see all the comments being like, I thought I was the only one who does this.
Yeah.
Do you ever do that where you like? Well, you don't. You get the you do the premium YouTube, so you don't get the ads. But I don't know. You there's probably ads on other stuff.
Ads in other
stuff
parts. Yeah.
Do you do that where you like skip and you go shut up like?
I don't know if I verbalize it, but I do like.
I do. I verbalize it all the time.
Yeah.
But the reason that I am mentioning it is because I started doing it to a new ad that I'm getting on like almost every YouTube video I watch. Is this guy talking about his son who was a victim of Sandy Hook?
Shut up, bitch.
Yeah. It's wild how like I can go from like the lows of this to the highs of like my vampire system.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like I can't say that it's worth it because it's so. They're just annoying, most of the time. But it's like it's interesting how it's like there's this. This is like a side YouTube to me. There's like another. This is an additional experience on YouTube. Is like the various like ads that I get because it's like, am I gonna get something great like my vampire system?
You're getting like ad roulette. You're like, come on, give me the AI vampire story. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh, Liberty Mutual again. Damn.
Oh yeah, there's. Yeah, plenty
That's
of those
one
too.
I get on Twitch is like the Limu Emu. I get like because YouTube Premium
everywhere.
YouTube Premium is like I'll never go back. I will die with the YouTube Premium subscription. Like I'm never going back. But Twitch, it's like I can't afford to like subscribe to every person that I watch, and I don't watch everyone that I subscribe to enough to. So it's like. But like sometimes you click on like someone's stream and it's just like 6 ads frame one. Like that's and they're all just like
Twitch can be pretty bad. Yeah.
And it's like it's the Amazon owns Twitch. Like I know like some piddly amount of like the advertiser revenue like goes to the streamer. Like I think that's how a lot of like Twitch partners probably get money is like, oh, if we have a lot of people watching and then they run ads, those are technically eyes on ads, so blah, 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 some conversion rate, some bullshit or whatever. I understand that. And like, I understand the idea of like supporting people. Like, I wish I could support every like person that like I like their writing or I like their videos, but I really can't. But it's just like, man, they really make ads so bad. And I like Letterboxd is actually my
it's another classic ad that I got recently.
Yeah, so the mobile version, you can't really use ad block on your phone. I think there's probably a way, but it's probably a subscription service. Cool. But the Letterboxd ads are so busted where like if you load a video ad while you're on Letterboxd, if you scroll away from it, it stays in the bottom right-hand corner and like scrolls with you. So like it's an autoplay video that does not go away until the ad is done. But like I feel like if you shift pages too many times or like, you click on someone's review, you click around, something funky happens with the ads where a majority of the time it'll just be a black box with like 3 dots because the ad didn't load properly.
Oh.
But on Letterboxd's end, the ad hasn't played through. And so as I'm going from like, review to review or like looking at my own page, I just have a black box that's not doing anything that does not go away. And so I end up like closing the app and reopening it. But it's just like, it is. You're
saying the app? This is not like on your phone.
No, on my phone, on the app.
Oh, okay. This must be you have an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
I think this might be an Apple issue because I thought you were going to say that bringing up Letterboxd, the app on mine there's like the ad is like there's a little strip partway down.
You know what? Maybe they changed it because, okay, I'm looking at it now. There's an ad for Instagram on here.
Mm-hmm.
But usually what would happen is as soon as I scrolled away, like there's a video ad for Instagram. What would happen is like as I scrolled away, the video would be like a little picture in the bottom corner, and it would move with me.
I get that.
Maybe they changed it.
That's how the desktop version works. Like if I'm on my browser, I get the video that scrolls with and stuff. Desktop Letterboxd fucking sucks. Like the ads on there are really bad. But here, the app, I love the app because it's that little white line there. That's the only on this whole page. That's the only ad.
Well, maybe they recently changed it because as far as I can remember, they had the little video that followed you as you scrolled. But I use ad blocker on Letterboxd, which but then it's like if you click on a movie, you click on a different page. There's a pop-up. It says, "Here's looking at you, kid. Thanks for keeping the reels rolling by disabling your ad blocker. Class act." And then on the bottom it says, "Continue without supporting us." So you have to like click away every single time. And so I was like, you know what? Okay. And there are still ads. There's an ad for Adobe right here. So they're finding ways to get around ad blocker anyway.
Yeah.
But if I turn off ad block on Letterboxd, I can't click on anything. Yeah. Because
it sucks.
Like when the Minecraft movie would come out, it's like the website is not streamlined in a way. So it's like you'd get the normal Letterboxd and then everything shifts and moves around because the entire page becomes an ad for whatever, or like any space that's not. And it's like, it's so frustrating because for a lot of people, this is probably just like, this is just the way that the internet is. I remember a time when it wasn't like this.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a time like, the people talk about enshittification and like, I remember like 2008 Facebook. I remember like 2005, 2006 YouTube. I remember when all these websites were just that was the part of the process where we're developing a user base by making something that's interesting and cool and free and like everybody's using it. And now it's just like the only thing on Facebook now is AI slop trying to trick boomers or like hate algorithm Instagram, Facebook reels to get people like, Nancy Pelosi's a bitch. Like that's all it is. It's just boomer rage bait. Like the featured posts on Facebook are all just like some like local news station telling you how like an immigrant killed a person or something like that. Like it's all just rage bait.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're talking about like YouTube Premium before, I was like, my mind instantly went to like, you mean like just old YouTube where there were just no ads anyways.
It's crazy.
It's weird how seamlessly boomers just took over like social media. It's weird. I remember like, back when I was in high school maybe, and like my mom got a Facebook. I was like, oh, that's funny. That's weird. Oh. And then it just like more and more started popping up and now it's like, like I said, it's like, that's all it is. That's what they play to. That's what, cause maybe younger people are more, we're more, just tech internet savvy. So we do stuff like use ad blockers or just, navigate away from certain things. So they go with the easy gets. They're like, well, we're just going to play up to the people who don't know how to avoid what we're pitching or,
I've seen the most diabolical boomer bait, and I don't know if I've talked about it on the pod before, but for a while, it was largely on TikTok actually, but I would imagine that if I started looking at them on Facebook, you'd see them there too. Mm-hmm. But it's AI videos of a little baby, usually with a prosthetic leg or arm, and they have like the little oxygen tube under their nose, and they are singing like a praise band song with an AI Jesus, and they're both singing together. but the baby is usually like has a tear running down his cheek, or he's got cuts on his arms, or he's like kind of dirty and muddy, and it's all just like singing like the chorus of Hallelujah, like the Leonard Cohen song. But but what happened was I lingered on one for a little bit too long, and then half of my feed became various AI babies in just like diabolical situations with an AI Jesus hovering over him. And it's like AI can't differentiate very well, so like it's the baby singing, but the Jesus is also like hallelujah, like his mouth is moving too. And then another one I was getting more recently was like it'd be like Jesus in a pit, and then there's like a devil with a paint bucket like pouring goop on Jesus, and then that AI voice is like, Jesus needs your help. Click the 5 buttons to help Jesus, and it's like follow, repost, like, save video or whatever. So it's like basically saying like save Jesus by following our account. So it's cool. The landscape of the internet is cool now. This is everything that I hoped it would be.
Yeah.
What meager money boomers were going to leave to their kids is now just going to go towards like Jesus baby AI scams. And it's all trickling down, but not to us.
Yeah. Speaking of entropy, welcome back, ladies and gents, to another episode of ThereWillBeDuds. This is episode 188, and I am your co-host, TJ, and with me as always,
I am Nick.
And as always, we watched a movie. That movie this week being Synecdoche, New York, from 2008, directed by Charlie Kaufman. It follows a writer, director, played by Philip Seymour Hoffman, who feels like he hasn't done much creatively, artistically with his life, and wants to, I guess he wants to leave something of himself. He wants to leave something of artistic merit before he dies, because he's like a hypochondriac and he thinks that like everything is going to kill him, basically. And it's a Charlie Kaufman thing, so it gets really heady and weird very fast. He rents out a warehouse in New York and builds like an entire city in there, and there's people playing people. There's people playing him and his assistant, and then there's people playing them, and turtles all the way down type stuff. I wrote down that this is I put the most Charlie Kaufman Charlie's ever Kaufman, but I don't know if that's totally true. I feel like I could say that about like all of his solo movies at the very least, because like could you make that argument for I'm Thinking of Ending Things for sure too. Could be one of those.
I gotta watch that again.
Yeah, it's fun. But yeah, I like this. I thought it was pretty good.
I wondered where you were gonna land with it. I
like most of his stuff, even if I don't, which I would put this in that category, of like, I guess my general thing with this is like, I was not, because I know that this is one where it's like, I could see this being like some, film kid's like favorite movie. And it's like it seems like one where it's like I've seen people say like this is like life changing, or like this really affected me. I didn't get really any of that, but I love his writing. Like I thought this movie was hilarious. He's really good at writing dialogue and characters. So it's like even if I don't connect emotionally with the movie as a whole, I enjoy Kaufman's writing, and that's a through line with like everything. Like I would say the same thing for I'm Thinking of Ending Things, where like I wasn't super engaged emotionally, but really great writing, really good characters.
Good. Yeah. I'm glad that you landed on this side too, because I was like looking at other Letterboxd reviews of people like reviewing Synecdoche, New York, and some of them were like, oh, I'm like, I gotta process this one, or like, oh, I was like in tears the whole time, like, oh, it's like so life changing, and like, I don't know, I guess maybe some of it I can understand, like the more sort of meditative stuff about like the nature of life, and yes,
there's stuff where they're talking about like death and stuff, and I was kind of like, I wasn't laughing at that, like
I
it's
was
heavy.
laughing my ass off at this movie. I watched this like a decade ago, and like whoever I was a decade ago did not understand. All I remember was that he like thinks that he's dying, and he builds a giant replica set of New York City. That's really all I remember. But now, like watching this in a like post the rehearsal and Beau is Afraid world, this is like, okay, I'm like, maybe this is like my specific genre of thing that I like love, because a lot of this like very much reminded me of like Beau is Afraid, where like at least the first hour where like everything in his life is like trying to kill him, basically. Like it's Philip Seymour Hoffman, and it's like even like every single thing that is like making sound in his house is telling him like statistics about people being bombed or killed, or like the cartoon show that he's watching with his daughter has his head superimposed on like the cartoon character, and he's just going through horrific shit. I thought it was so goddamn funny. I was like, throughout the entire thing, even during like the more kind of morbid or maybe like more sad parts, it was still it never stopped being funny to me.
Yeah, it was like fleeting moments where it was like so morbid that I was like kind of taking it seriously, but it's like, I think like kind of going off what you said, it's like ultra morbid, and because of that it's funny.
It's insane.
I think the part that I think I laughed the hardest at, like I was like, this was a good like belly laugh, was where he asked the like marriage therapist, like, oh, she has a diary, she's 4 years old, can 4-year-olds write? And she's like, yeah, there's a series of Little Winky written by like Harold Aspiazu, and it's about this and this and this and this.
He's a virulent anti-Semite or something.
Yeah.
Little Winky is a virulent anti-Semite. The story follows his initiation into the Klan, his immersion in the pornographic snuff industry, and his ultimate degradation at the hands of a black ex-convict named Eric Washington Jackson Jones Johnson.
Written by a 4-year-old.
Jefferson.
Wow.
And then he's like, wow, written by a 4-year-old? And then she's like, yeah, he committed suicide when he was 5. That was so fucking funny.
It's so good.
Yeah. And then he says, he's like, why did he kill himself? And then she says, I don't know, why did you? And then he says, what? And she says, I said, why would you? So she changes it. So it's another and that reminded me of postmortem, how there's like all the reinforcements of like that Ethan's character is like already dead or whatever. How did Robert Dyer die? He's all
like,
that stuff.
I'm not dead.
Yeah.
Oh, God, there were so many. I forgot about that part. There were so many little things to like, because if I had written down every single thing that made me laugh, it would have filled the rest of my notebook, because it was just thing after thing after thing that was like so funny. The fact that like every doctor he goes to is just like, I don't know, maybe, no, I don't know. But they do that like kind of wordplay thing where the doctor's like, no, and he's like, no on a moral level, or no on like I'm dying level. And he's like, no, and he's like, which one? He's like, I don't know.
And he just keeps saying, that was good.
Just every single like doctor that he goes to like does not know anything, like cannot help him at all.
You've had a seizure of sorts.
What does that mean?
Seems to be some synaptic degradation. Fungal in origin. Autonomic functions are going haywire. You'll lose your ability to salivate, cry, etc.
You serious?
We don't know, but yes.
Yeah.
I forgot about the 4-year-old author who kills himself.
Yeah. And he's so I'm not totally sure. I don't know enough about Charlie Kaufman himself to know if I was trying to decipher how like earnestly you're supposed to take Philip Seymour Hoffman's character himself, because he's so like the tortured artist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I must get my piece out there. I'm so fucked up. I'm so, I have so much going on. And I don't know. Like I said, not knowing enough about Kaufman himself. I've seen all of his movies now, but
right.
all just kind of like spaced out over the course of my life. I haven't done like a real deep dive focus on him. So I don't know. I could see it being like, yeah, it's a comedy, but like all the stuff he's saying is supposed to be taken seriously, in which case I'm like, well, then he's just a kind of pretentious and a little insufferable. But if it's a little tongue in cheek, that makes it a lot like better.
I think it is. I think maybe adaptation is a really good maybe exploration of like how he maybe sees himself. Mm-hmm. Because in adaptation, it's Nicolas Cage portraying Charlie Kaufman, but he has a twin brother named Donald. Yeah. And the whole premise of that movie is, again, like I've recommended adaptation to people, and then it's like I try to describe the movie to them, and I sound like an insane person because I'm like, it's an adaptation of a real book called The Orchid Thief, written by a real person, but it's a movie about Charlie Kaufman, who is a real person, portrayed by Nicolas Cage, who's playing him, trying to adapt the novel The Orchid Thief by a real person into a movie. It's and
he
so
has a
heady,
twin brother that he doesn't actually have.
He does not have in real life.
I thought he did have a twin brother for like years.
Yeah,
because of that movie.
But like the Charlie character portrayed by, well, I guess Nicolas Cage, he does both. The Charlie character is like very serious, like, no, you can't write like that. That's so contrived. That's so overdone. It has to be blah, 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 blah. And then Donald is like, he's like, oh yeah, I wrote this movie called The Three, and it's about a cop who's chasing a serial killer, but the cop is actually the killer himself, but he has multiple personality disorder. And Charlie's like, that's the dumbest shit ever. Like, that's so stupid. Like, why would you write that? But then it's like all of the like sort of like plot contrivances that the character Donald comes up with are how Charlie like writes the movie. There's like a car crash. There's like a violence. People get shot and killed. So it's like he's shitting on Donald for wanting to include those like movie cliches. But then Charlie Kaufman, the writer, includes those cliches to like a great effect in the movie. So it's like, I think he's kind of got he's dipping in both pools there, where I think he probably does acknowledge that like those things can be like contrived and cliche and bad, but also he will like engage with them. So I don't know. I think the character of Philip Seymour Hoffman in this movie, I think I lean towards it's nudge and a wink. Like there are moments where like he'll be talking
reference point. Yeah.
There are moments where like Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, I think, will say something like, sort of like, poetic or profound, or maybe like, but I think with his agoraphobia and hypochondria, whatever, all that kind of shit, I think he's leaning into like the absurd sensationalist part of it too. And I think Charlie Kaufman I think it's intentional. But he's so good at like kind of riding that line of like, is this earnest? Is this like satire? It's yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like the way this feels very much like like I watching this too, I think because I think the one that he did before this was Eternal Sunshine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this feels very influenced by that, like the working on that. And I wondered how this would be if it was like directed by Michel Gondry.
Oh yeah.
Just because like I like the way that, and he does this in his other stuff too. But I think I liked more in this the way that it just blends in absurd things, and just moves right past it. Like the part where he talks about, I think it's Philip Seymour Hoffman talking about his dad, how his dad died. He was like, his body was like so riddled with cancer that there was like barely anything of him left. And you think of like people say that about people in real life who have cancer, and they're like, you know, by the end of it, they're like really skinny and, you know, really frail. But then you get a shot of his coffin and it's like tiny. Like there was literally like nothing of him left.
He's like talking and they're like, they say it was the longest and saddest like bedside death speech anyone has ever given. And they're like, he was so small at the end that they filled the coffin with cotton balls. And
they forgot about that part.
They're lowering in the tiny little coffin.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
That especially is very like Beau is Afraid. Like his dad like wanting him to be there, and it was like such a sad deathbed speech. That's like his mom being like, "Oh, well, you don't care." Yeah, I feel like there's like something very much like that in that movie.
Another good one like that is when Hazel is buying a house and the house is perpetually on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't sure if they were going to acknowledge it because like she was like her and the realtor are having a very like deadpan conversation where they're like talking about like, oh yeah, you know, it's a big decision, you know, buying your first house. She's like, yeah, I know. I don't know if I'm ready yet. She's like, yeah, I know. It's you know, you got to get your financials in order. And she's like, I'm a little bit worried about the fire. She's like, yeah,
dying in the fire.
Yeah, and it's just like they say it so casually, and then
she does.
There's an incredible punchline. I lost my shit because it's like, yeah, the whole time there's like multiple sequences where they're like laying in bed in this house that is actively on fire, and they're just like, but like when she eventually does die from it, the EMT that's there, he delivers this line so perfectly. They're like checking your vitals, and then he looks up and he's like, I think it might be smoke inhalation. Like he's not sure. He's like, it might be this.
Yeah, that's good. Good. Yeah. Speaking of, I was really, I guess, impressed, or I don't know, I was pleasantly surprised when so Samantha Morton plays Hazel.
I had trouble keeping her and Michelle Williams separated.
Or no, wait, do you mean Michelle Williams or the one who plays
Claire and Hazel?
Okay, no. So I was thinking when she first shows up, and I know who Samantha Morton is. I've seen her in some other movies. But when she showed up, I was like, is that Emily Watson? That was my first thought. I thought it was Emily Watson, and then they bring in her and I was like, "Oh my god, that's perfect!" Like I was like blown away by that. That was so fun that they actually, So I'm like, good casting in my opinion.
Yeah. I loved the cast in this. Tom Noonan, I love Tom Noonan as like a character actor. He has so many like credits where he's just like a random guy that's in there for like a scene, but it's so great. He's in like Heat for like a scene. He's like one of the guys with that like kind of, I think he works with Robert De Niro's crew, but he has like a huge ass beard. He's only in it for one scene, but I'm like, oh shit, there's Tom Noonan. And he's also in probably one of the creepiest X-Files episodes. He's like a serial killer who leaves like playing cards in like little girls' clothes or something like that. But like he meets Mulder like playing basketball in like a prison thing. It's like I don't know. Tom Noonan is just so great at playing that kind of guy where like he can be like very empathetic or he can be very creepy. He's just got one of those faces. But
he is.
When he shows up and he's like, I've been following you your whole life. And then it's like you look back and like he's there. Like there are scenes early on.
I knew he was in the movie, so I noticed him immediately.
Yeah, like there's like one where like, I feel like the movie doesn't even focus on it that much, but he's just like behind a tree, like looking at him, just like watching him from afar.
Yeah.
Also, Peter Friedman, who I know him as, I think he's Frank in Succession. Yeah, he's Frank. One of Brian Cox's like kind of guys that works for Waystar Royco.
Oh wait, yeah.
He's one of the doctors that's like basically like I don't know.
I totally missed that. Okay.
And then Jennifer Jason Leigh is great in it as Maria. Like I don't know, every person in this movie is like perfect. And at the end when they're recreating like the recreation of a funeral, and then I forget which version of Caden it is, because there's like 3 at this point. Yeah, this might have been the woman who's Caden, like the second
Diane
one.
Wiest.
Yeah, after Tom Noonan kills himself.
Yeah, and then the one who ends up like she ends up taking
Killing
over
him.
Caden's role as director.
Yes.
And then I think Philip Seymour Hoffman, I think, was supposed to be he was an actor now. He was supposed to be playing himself.
He plays the woman who cleans
that's right.
Catherine Keener's apartment.
Yeah. Ellen
Ellen
Bascom.
Yes.
That's right, because that's Diane Wiest was originally playing Ellen Bascom, who was what Philip Seymour Hoffman was mistaken as. And then that's right.
But the preacher at the end who gives the impassioned speech was Christopher Evan Welch, who is from Silicon Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure, and I didn't
what's his
look it
name?
up, but
Peter Gregory. He died.
Peter
he
Gregory,
died
that's his name.
Shortly after that season of Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I know.
But as soon as I saw him, and I was like, I recognize the way that he's speaking, and it's like, oh shit, it's Peter Gregory from Silicon Valley.
Yeah, I was pretty sure that was him, but I didn't. I never looked it up. But yeah. Oh yeah, but Jennifer Jason Leigh. That's another thing. I'm just like I get what it's doing, but it's still it's funny, and I really like the Beau is Afraid comparison. Like now that like that is such a good like a more recent like reference point of just like how, I mean, I'm sure that, you know, it was like his wife's like one of her like best friends or whatever, so I'm sure they had like he had known her more. I can't remember what her name was, but
Maria.
Yeah, Maria. Yeah. But he doesn't like her.
Correct.
And then like they moved to Germany or whatever, and she's like his daughter's nanny, and like I just get like that panic and fear that you would have of like this person who you think is like a bad influence and not like raising your child, and you're not around. And then like when she gets older, they become like lovers, and it's just like all like the worst things that he could like imagine are like all what's happening. And then like he finally sees his daughter again on her deathbed, and she's chastising him for running away and having anal sex with his homosexual lover, Eric. Yeah.
And she's like, she's like begging him to like ask for forgiveness.
Yeah.
For this thing that's totally made up. And he's like, that's not true. I'm not gonna. She's like, say it. And he finally begs for forgiveness. And then she's like, no, and then dies. man, maybe this is like the funniest movie I've ever seen, because even recounting all this shit, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then another element of that is like, I think like the therapist woman who's like also an author, but also is like omnipresent in a weird way.
Yeah.
Like, she tells him that his daughter has a diary, but that he shouldn't read it. And so he immediately goes to her bed under the pillow and like finds her diary. But then like the diary updates as Olive is, so he's like reading this diary that theoretically she would have only been written until she was like 5 or 6 years old. But then it's like he's learning about his daughter through this diary that is oddly somehow still updating. And then that's when he learns that like Maria like covered her entire body with like tattoos. And he kind of has this like weird like Paris, Texas moment where he goes to Germany and like she's like an exotic dancer on like a one-sided mirror. And he's like,
yeah, I did think of Paris, Texas. Yeah.
And he's like,
scene.
Olive. And then like they pull him away. He's like, that's my daughter. Which then again, there's like the great punchline of like her on her deathbed. It was like, oh yeah, the tattoos are what killed me.
Yeah, that's right. They got like,
got, like ink poisoning or whatever. Yeah.
And then, yeah, that's right.
One of the interesting tidbits that I'm reading on the IMDb trivia, though, is that, like, I don't know, this is maybe more of like a plot thing, but like, oddly enough, for someone who is like a hypochondriac and worried with his own mortality, Caden outlives like everybody in this movie.
Yeah,
he outlives his own daughter. Like,
yeah.
Like everything has like an ironic punchline that like things are set up and then there's like a twist of irony, like way for like it to resolve. And yeah, it's so funny.
Yeah. I feel like it shifts around. Like, I want to say there's a point where he's been looking older for a while, and then there's a change. Maybe it's when he plays Ellen, when he starts playing Ellen, and he like looks younger again. I feel like there's some like kind of ebbs and flows a little bit with like the aging, changing around or whatever. Another the other thing that I could not stop thinking of while watching this movie too was the rehearsal.
Yes. Yep.
Like the big warehouse with like, it made me, all I was thinking of was the bar, or I mean, even the airport in the second season. Like,
yeah,
the rehearsal is like the real life, this like to a T, like having people play other people, and or whatever.
Well, and that like the genius of the rehearsal and like part of the humor in it is basically Nathan presenting a scene and then we see that scene again, but with like actors portraying people. Like in season 2 of the rehearsal, there was like a part where one of the actors went to the airport to like stealthily like watch one of the pilots and like the co-pilots interact. And there's like a scene where you're watching it on the phone, he's like showing someone on his phone, but then it's like you see two guys dressed identically doing like the exact same thing, showing another guy something on their phone. And it's just like, it's mind bending, like seeing like a guy doing something and then an actor doing that exact same thing in the exact same like replica of a situation. It's insane. But there's like a few instances of that in this movie too, where you'll see a scene and then you'll see the same scene play out exactly how it happened, but with like Tom Noonan as Philip Seymour Hoffman. And I immediately thought of like the rehearsal with just like that the layers of like, no, it didn't happen like that. Like, do it again, or like that's yeah.
And then yeah, when it gets like farther into it, and there's, I mean, yeah, I guess he's playing the part or whatever.
Mhm.
But then there's like you have Philip Seymour Hoffman and Samantha Morton sitting at a table watching the scene play out, and then directly next to them is Tom Noonan and Emily Watson in their like same attire, and they're also like directing. And I remember it's because it's like a hour 40, something like that. So it covers it goes a lot of wild places in a short time. And I remember thinking, like, knowing that, like, roughly, like, okay, like I kind of knew the general structure, like he makes a city and it's like a play or something like that. And also just, you know, knowing that Charlie Kaufman gets weird, gets freaky. It was like 20, maybe 30 minutes into this, and it was still like his wife was still there, and there was like a little bit of weird stuff, but for the most part it was like really straightforward for the first like half hour or so. And I was like, what? I was like movie isn't that, like, I think I checked the time because I was like expecting to check the time. I'm like, oh, this is like 2.5 hours. But then it's like his wife leaves, and it's like 5-10 minutes, and then we're in Weirdsville. Like, it's so quick. yeah. It's such a quick like shift into the craziness. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's there. It's present at the beginning in a very subtle way, and it's usually through like all of the TV sounds and like radio sounds, and just like death is like surrounding him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I picked up on that stuff like I was like, okay, this is like he's kind of paranoid. This is kind of weird. And then once there's like a part where like Catherine Keener leaves. And I think he's talking to Hazel, and he's like, he says something like, "Oh, you know, I mean, we got to talk about it when she gets back." And Hazel's like, "She's been gone for a year."
Oh,
and then
yeah.
And then it's like, oh, time is just elastic in this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I'm kind of bummed that Catherine Keener didn't have like a bigger role. Like basically once she goes to Germany, she's kind of really like done with the movie. And
I don't think she's in any more of it.
She is so good at playing like kind of like sarcastic, scorned lovers. Like I'm thinking largely like being John Malkovich.
Yep. Yeah.
Like
I was thinking being
the way that she does that, she's so good at that. And I don't know. I loved her as as Caden's wife. Also, the art that she does, I was like, okay, this feels like Charlie Kaufman like making fun of pretentious artists. Going to the gallery where it's tiny. Like she makes the tiny paintings, and you have to put on these like special glasses to be able to look at them. And there's all these like rubes in an art gallery with like their specialty goggles. That feels like the most like pretentious New York City art piece type shit. It's like, oh yes, I had hors d'oeuvres at the Met Gala, and we watched the tiny paintings. Yes, she painted them all on little grains of rice, and we could only look at them with these specialty goggles. But also, I mean, that's a good parallel between her and Caden, where Caden's art becomes like multiple warehouses, but her art becomes like so tiny, it's like indecipherable. It's like you can't even see it anymore. I don't know. There's stuff there. There's like these sort of like heady concepts and maybe like emotional things that you can pick out. But I did not have like a harrowing emotional journey though. I mostly like was like laughing the entire time.
Yeah. There were serious moments, but for the most part, this is just a rip-roaring comedy.
it's the most like I don't know, like bizarre, self-aware, meta way to do this kind of shit. Like
Yeah.
Some of it caught me off guard too. Like the scene when he casts Sammy, who's Tom Noonan, to play like he's like Caden, I've been watching you for years, and he says something about Adele, and then, like they're kind of talking about Adele, and then Tom Noonan goes, "Sweet pussy too."
Yeah. That's right.
And just those words coming out of Tom Noonan's mouth, like so earnestly, it got me good. I laughed so hard.
An amazing artist, though. The best living artist. I mean, there's no one who stares the truth in the face like she does. Sweet pussy, too.
How do you know that?
Oh, I read it.
I've just been kind of on the side, like just scrolling through the quotes page on IMDb, and for not, this is not an unknown movie. It's like it's a pretty well-known movie in film heads, at least. It's not a mainstream movie or anything. But there's a ton of quotes. Like I actually had to do the hit more, like show more, and it was like 35 more. I feel like that's usually only for like the most popular movies. Do you have more than like, a handful of quotes? But that just goes to show like how like good the dialogue is here. Like there's so many good lines.
Yeah.
That there's that much to show on IMDb.
I love that. Yeah, the first one is the pastor speech from Peter Gregory. I'm gonna call him. But I just even his speech is like it's like from the heart. He gives it in a very impassioned way. He's like this pastor, and I just I just love that he ends it. I don't know why. Maybe because no one wants to hear about my misery because they have their own. Well, fuck everybody. Amen. And then the second one is Caden Cotard. Amen.
It feels like there's so much going on in the movie, but like not a whole bunch to talk about. At least if you're looking at it from our perspective, just like it's funny.
Yeah, like you could probably have conversations about like the philosophy of it. Like looking at the Wikipedia article and like the sort of the section where it talks about like themes and ideas. It references like Carl Jung and all these different modes of like psychology and like analysis of the brain and like all that kind of shit, which I do think like, on a surface level is interesting. And I would be interested in maybe learning about that. But I don't know. I feel like if you're watching this movie just for those things, you're just going to be like horrifically depressed. And it's so much funnier than that. Like, I don't know. I can appreciate both aspects, I guess. Like, you could probably do that with Beau is Afraid as well. Like, whatever Ari Aster's deal is with mothers, like, you could probably extrapolate some things based on, Hereditary, and Midsummer, I guess, is less about the mother. But like Beau is Afraid is 100% about mothers. I mean, even in Eddington, like what's her face is Jesus. I can't remember anyone's name.
Emma Stone.
Emma Stone.
She's in that, right? Yeah.
You haven't seen Eddington, have you?
I haven't seen it yet. No.
Emma Stone's mom, who I guess is Joaquin Phoenix's mother-in-law in the movie.
Okay.
She's very present, and she's like, because it's a 2020 COVID movie. She's like, I'm doing my own research, and she's just kind of in the background, just like talking about shit. And she's kind of like a driving force, I think, for Emma Stone's character's like kind of descent into like, they don't say ivermectin, but it's like on that line of like 2020 COVID conspiracies. So it's like, Ari Aster's got like a thing for mothers, so you could use that as like a point of analysis. But that's fine. But you could also just enjoy it for what it is. I don't know. I'm not trying to be anti anti or pro the curtains are blue. I'm saying if you want to, it's there and it's fun, but don't feel like you have to. Especially with Charlie Kaufman's shit, like with how heady and weird it is, and like how meta it is. Like all of his movies, I think, like being John Malkovich adaptation, Eternal Sunshine, they all have that stuff there if you want to dive into it. Yeah, I think I'm going with a 9 on this one. I really liked it. I was like expecting it to be maybe a little more pretentious, because I feel like I saw it 10 years ago, and I was like one of those guys that's like, yeah, Charlie Kaufman really needs like a Spike Jonze or a Michel Gondry to like rein in his weirdness. But I don't think I had the same sense of humor back then, or like I didn't really get it back then. But watching it now, I'm like, no, I think he's fine. I think Charlie Kaufman's fine, like kind of on his own. And I think this was really, really like well directed for like a directorial debut. Like as a writer and director, it's like probably pretty tough. But I thought it was really well casted. I thought it really like rides that line between like absurd and like, you know, heartfelt philosophical meditations on the nature of life and death. It's like, if you're going to package that stuff for me, like these really heady topics, doing it in a funny way is like the best way for it to like reach my brain. Because if it's just like a lecture, or if it's like super morose and depressing, I'm going to be like, okay, I get it, but I just felt bad for 2 hours. This was like, I don't know, this was like really refreshing and greatly added to my appreciation of stuff like Beau is Afraid and The Rehearsal and like Nathan Fielder. It's like, I love that genre now. It's so great. So I'm going with a 9 for this one.
Nice. Sweet. I am a bit lower. I came in at a very high 7. I could this and I'm thinking of ending things too. Both probably like most all of his stuff are as movies that probably like benefit on rewatches. Just more so like I feel like understanding the tone that the movie as a whole is going for would get me into like the opening act or whatever a bit more, where I was like, I don't know, I like going into this, I thought this was like a serious movie, like a very like grim, dark, serious movie. And so it took me a little while to like adjust to like the comedy or whatever. So yeah, that's just saying that like, I guess that's a long way of saying like I could see this like going up to like an 8 on a rewatch. But right now a really high 7. Yeah, like I said, it's the writing is really what sings here for me. And yeah, just the writing of the dialogue and just the overall concept and how easily he like very like dream logic-y like scenes flowing into each other and just stuff just kind of happening and nobody questioning it. Cast is great. Yeah, Phil Seymour Hoffman's awesome. He's so good at playing bummed out dudes.
Yeah, it's kind of his stick. Like when you, other than like maybe The Master and Lancaster Dodd, which you could probably make an argument that that's a different kind of bummed out dude. Yeah. But like all of his like characters that he plays are usually like just like sad sacks.
Yeah.
He's so good at it.
Capote, like in the 90s, he was the total opposite. He played guys like guy in Boogie Nights or Hard 8 or Twister. Like he's like party dude.
Talented Mr. Ripley. He's
kinda.
He's kind of a playboy.
Yeah. Or he's also Freddie Lowndes in Red Dragon.
That's right.
Like like sleazy like slime bag, but like really like charismatic and stuff. And then it seems like later in his career he played just like angry, sad introverts.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's good at both. He's good playing both sides. So yeah. R.I.P.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, well, we both saw a new movie as well. And we're going to talk about the newest from Zach Cregger from What Is Could You Know, or more apt for this, Barbarian. Weapons. New. I want to see what you think. After I saw it, I was like, I don't know if it didn't really feel like a horror movie to me that much. Interestingly enough, I didn't find it that scary.
The only elements that felt like horror were the 2 dream sequences where there are
true.
Spoilers for Weapons. Gladys jump scares. You don't know who she is at the time, but you see her like in these kind of flashy jump scares pretty early on. Like there's one, there's two. There's the one where Jennifer Garner's character kind of wakes up from like a dream and she thinks someone's in her house, but then she's like, oh no, it was just a dream. And then she looks up at her ceiling and Gladys is there. And then it's like I dreamt I was having a dream and then I woke up from that dream type thing. And then there's another one with Josh Brolin's character where he thinks his son is like in his bed sleeping, and then it's like, oh, it's Gladys and she's got her caked on makeup face, and it's like jump scary. But other than that, it felt more, I guess, suspense thriller. It didn't really, I don't know. There were some horror moments. The shot of that door opening in the dark.
Yeah. There was definitely creepy parts. I'm not saying that. Yeah, that part was really creepy. And then the way that the lady like walks out of it. Yeah, really like unsettling. I saw some like Letterboxd reviews where people talking about like that scene and hearing people like audibly gasp. And with my screening there, when the lady comes out of the house, people were like, it kind of got tense in there. And then she like looks in the car window and then she goes around. The camera stays on Jennifer Garner. But I shit you not, as soon as like the sound effect of the back seat door clicking open happened, people in my theater gasped. They were like, like, oh, like they realized what was happening. They were like, oh shit, she's in the car. Like, really, I had a pretty good theater experience. There were a couple of people on their phones, whatever. But the audience reactions to stuff was pretty primo, if you ask me. Yeah, it is a good one to see with an audience. Yeah, the audience I saw it with was really good too. There's a lot of shocking moments in it. So yeah, it's good for that stuff. Is that the end of her storyline? Does it snip and then it cuts to Josh Brolin? Or you know what I mean? Her chapter or whatever. Yeah.
I think so. I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it knows. I think it is, because I feel like I can almost remember where everyone stops, and that's like a sign. That's like a sign of like good. Like it knows where to end the. It's like it ends it at like the most interesting part or whatever. Because like Josh Brolin's ends at the gas station when the principal is like attacking them, and it cuts away like in the middle of that, and the beginning on the I didn't mean to say that there weren't any scary moments, but just like in general it didn't have, I don't know, it just had a different energy to me, which was kind of interesting. Almost like a Beau is Afraid, how there's another movie you can compare to that, like where there's definitely like horror elements to Beau is Afraid, but it's not like a horror movie, really. Yeah,
it's more, it's like a fusion of different genres and idea, that it's not, because I did see some people were, that maybe didn't like it as much. They didn't particularly like the ending. They didn't like the comedic elements, and like I don't understand. Like, we were hooting and hollering. It made me the ending made me think of like Ferris Bueller's Day Off at the end of that movie, when Ferris is trying to get home and he's like running through people's houses and yards, and like he runs through some
wow.
Yeah, he like runs through someone's house and he's like, no, don't get up. And he like runs through their slider door. But I mean, obviously this is a much more morbid interpretation of that. But that's what I was like, this has the cadence of like, yeah, wow. Like when that movie comes to streaming, someone's got to like edit that song as Gladys is running from all the kids.
That's good, yeah. or edit, this would be even better. Edit what's his name? Jeffries, the guy who plays the principal in that. Edit him into Weapons. The guy, the sex criminal.
Jim Jones. Is it Jim Jones? Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones. That's it. Yeah. Edit him into Weapons, being chased by all the children.
I think it's torn apart at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was laughing my ass off at all of that shit. I thought it was so funny. It was so good.
Yeah, that's one of the best endings like I've seen in a while. That was fucking fantastic. I loved the ending so much. It was so like it was unexpected and just really it felt so good because she's such a shitbag. It was like very cathartic, and it was just great. It's like it also just like a totally out of left field, just so it was just pleasing for that in that sense too. Just like, yeah, that's when we're like this is like a movie that I would or like could recommend to somebody just on that. I'd be like, it is worth it for that ending. And then honestly, like what going back to like the dream stuff, that's probably what I like vibed with the least. It felt the most like standard horror. It felt like it kind of felt like, okay, we're doing a horror movie, or we're kind of we're supposed to be doing a horror movie. So, and it's been 10, 15 minutes. We need to have a scare. We need to have a jump scare scene.
Yeah.
So then there's the jump scare scene, and then you go a little bit, and then we got to do another one, and it's just like the typical like looking down. It was like almost. I wondered if he was gonna like play on it more, because it almost like the one with Julia Garner where she like sits up in bed and looks down the hall and doesn't see anything. It felt so by the books that I was expecting him to do something more with it. Like that was going to be the point, and there was going to be some like meta commentary thing on it, but then it didn't. So I kind of thought that was like a weaker part to it. Like, as much as I liked, being interested, like I liked your character, and the mystery is really engaging. Trying to figure out what happened is really engaging. But I would say that like the beginning chunk is maybe like it felt like a movie that got better like with each new chapter. Like it just got better and better. And also I really liked how it feels like it changed genres like 3 times. Like it started out as a horror movie, and then it turned into like a drama, like maybe a more serious, like emotional drama with like Josh Brolin stuff, like with his, his wife's, like their kind of fracturing relationship, him like mourning his son and all that stuff. And then it just ramps up into comedy. So it's a really, really, really like delicately just like weaving its way through these like very different genres, which was very, very impressive.
I would agree. Like the scene where they're all like kind of at the parent teacher like kind of meeting where they're like I think his name's, is it Freddie Wong? Is that his name? The guy who's the principal,
I know,
the
actor's name is
Benedict Wong. Sorry. But him doing the like therapy, like we all have like some big feelings and we all need to express themselves, and you're all valid. And Josh Brolin immediately goes to like outraged parent mode. Like I feel like with those like splicing of genres, I think he was like kind of splicing ideas there too. And a lot of them aren't really like hit over the head. They're not really like super explicit. I think they're more like contextual, if you will. But like, I was like, this is like, you know, whenever you hear about a small town and it's like, there's like a teacher that's like, a lot of it usually is like LGBTQ stuff, but it's like, there's like one teacher that's like, oh my God, this teacher told my daughter that she should be ashamed of herself for being white because she taught her about slavery, and slavery is bad, but she shouldn't feel bad for it. Like that kind of like, there's like the woke teacher who's poisoning our kids' minds. Like that's like the vibe and feel that it had, even though Josh Brolin's character wasn't really explicitly that, like that anger and that vitriol was there. And again, another thing I noticed, like sort of like involving all of the parents, was that like everybody lived in like a suburban McMansion. Like everybody's house was massive. And it's like, I'm not sure if Zach Cregger was trying to make like a statement or a point about like the sort of like suburban like delusion paranoia that happens with like all these people that like live in these gargantuan homes and are just afraid of like
everything,
their children being like manipulated by some like teacher or whatever. I don't know, but that seemed like it was like kind of like present in the background with like all these angry parents.
Yeah, when the real culprit is their boomer aunt.
Yeah. That's such a good point, because 9 times out of 10 when you're like when they're like, oh, they're groomers and blah 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 blah, all that kind of shit, they always think it's like the teacher that's doing it, but it's like a relative. It's always somebody else that you know that's doing like the bad shit to your kids, and it's very seldom like the drag queen story hour or whatever, like shit that they get whipped up into a frenzy over. And I think that was like another theme that like I saw some other people on Letterboxd kind of pointing out, the idea that like Gladys is so like over the top with her like caked on makeup and her like wig with like the micro bangs and like the very vibrant colorful outfits, that like when you're a little kid, that's kind of how your weird relative like looks to you. Like when you're 7 years old, it's like, oh, there's my weird aunt. And she, you know, she's got like 18 cats and she lives in like this isolated house in the woods and she's got these weird clothes. So it's like, that's probably how like little kids perceive their weird relatives. And then it's like the sort of like, well, you have to show deference to this complete stranger because she's family and she...
Yeah, they do that.
I'm surprised there wasn't like a scene where they like made Alex, the kid, like hug her. That's like a very like little kid thing where it's like, well, aren't you gonna give your aunt a kiss? And it's just like that sort of forced affection that like you have to, it's like, I don't know, I feel like there's like a cultural turn against that where it's like, no, like children have their own autonomy, they have their own space, and they shouldn't be like teaching kids consent essentially from like a very young age. But like Gladys is just like the final boss of that, where she's just like literally coercing him to do whatever she wants. And it's like, well, you're family, so you have to.
Yeah. Yeah. When she, the first time that you actually like see her for real, and she's in the principal's office, I thought that like wasn't a real person. Like the way, like her makeup and the wig, I didn't think it was like, I'm not saying I thought it was CGI or whatever. But I mean, like, I thought it was somebody, I thought they had like put like makeup and prosthetics on a person. And then like, I thought the idea was that that was like an alien or something like that. Oh. And the alien had put on the makeup and stuff to look like a person, because like, she just looks so bizarre. Look. Yeah. It's
the guy that played the woman in Barbarian. He's just doing another he's doing another body horror role.
Yeah. But then and then when I saw her without all the makeup on, I was like, oh shit, okay, because I like recognized her from she's in like 80s movie. She's in like Uncle Buck and Field of Dreams.
Is she his love interest in Uncle Buck? Like, okay. You know she's married to Ed Harris?
Yeah. Yep.
That's
Yeah.
like, I saw some post that was like, oh, this year's like power couple, and it's Ed Harris from Love Lies Bleeding with his like skullet, and then her as Aunt Gladys, and it's just like, oh yeah, creepy aunt and uncle power couple goals or something like that.
That's funny. Yeah, I liked we haven't really talked about the other characters, but I loved the cop and and James, the junkie. They might have been like the best part of the movie.
I feel like that's sort of when it shifted
line.
a little more towards comedy.
Yeah, that was when it started for sure. Like and then even more so with James's.
Do you have AIDS? He's like, huh?
Yeah. Man, the part when being very like, I'm whenever just, I'm 25 pilled, I guess. I don't know what to put it, but like, I'm always like, if there's a cop in a movie, my initial disposition is like, I'm not going to like this character or whatever because they're a cop. But so it's been a while since I've like related to a cop more than when he pricks his finger on the needle and immediately knocks the kid the fuck out, because I was like, yeah, fucking same. if I had that thing where he asked him, he's like, you don't have anything in your pockets. He asked him like 2 or 3 times, and he just looks, and like because like immediately I'm like, oh fuck,
yeah,
like the fear that you would have in that moment, and just lashing out like, yep, I get it. And then he sits in his car and he like his dash cam or whatever was on, and he like pulls it.
Yeah. Yep. I was expecting him to like be like, oh shit, is this fentanyl? Am I gonna die? Because like that was like a thing for a while. It was like a cop, like it's a very similar thing where like they'll prick their finger and then they're like, and then like they do that.
Yeah,
it's like, oh shit, is it gonna be like oh my god, is this fentanyl? But then I thought that was like a great like dramatic irony twist where it's like you then learn that the junkie character discovers the kids.
Yeah.
He finds out like where the kids are at, and he's going to he like works up the courage to tell the police that he's like, hey, I know where these missing kids are.
Just for the reward money though. Like that's like the
that felt very Justin Long measuring the floor plan of the rape basement in his Airbnb. Yeah. But the great dramatic irony is he's going to the police station to tell them where the kid is, but then the cop sees him and he thinks that he's coming to report the police brutality, and so he chases him right back to the house, sealing both of their fates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, speaking of sealing their fates, I will never look at a vegetable peeler the same way ever again.
Oh yeah, that was pretty gnarly. Did Julia Garner do that to the cop?
Yes.
Paul?
Yeah, because
when he's
the kind of the climactic moment is her and Josh Brolin they triangulate where the house is that they all ran to, so they go there. And yeah, it's like a similar thing with like the Alex and upstairs. They put salt lines, and so as soon as they cross the salt threshold, that's when Paul and the junkie like start attacking them. And so Paul's got her like up against like the cupboard, like choking her out. Mm-hmm. And she like grabs the peeler and peels his cheek twice. Yeah. And he just like completely like steamrolls through it. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, that's pretty gnarly.
Did you see Evil Dead Rise?
I did, yeah. Do they use a vegetable peel in that? I know there's some pretty gnarly stuff in that one.
There's like the scene where she uses the cheese grater on her leg.
Oh yeah, that's it. Oh,
that's what it made me think of.
Yeah. You saw that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
You
still haven't seen the 2013 one though, right?
No.
Okay.
No. I have it. I need to check it out. I've heard it's good.
I've
heard it's like gnarly.
Yeah, that I was gonna say that one also has some very gnarly shit in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch. Yeah, I like Evil Dead Rise was good too. I was very happy with that. That guy's doing now I don't know if it's like just a new thing, like another reboot, or if they're like continuing a storyline or whatever. But the guy that did that, he's doing the new Mummy.
Oh.
Yeah. So it could be good.
Interesting. Yeah.
I've seen he did that and a movie called Hole in the Ground that I also thought was pretty good. So he's got a good track record for me. So but I'm interested to see if it's are they gonna like try, is it gonna be a reboot or legacy sequel to like the Brendan Fraser one, or is it just it's the Universal property of the Mummy and they can just do whatever with it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see that Zach Cregger's doing a Resident Evil movie after this?
I did, yeah. And I saw that what's his name? Austin Abrams, I think is the actor's name, who played James the Junkie. He's the lead, I guess.
Oh, hell yeah.
I could see him playing Leon. Visually, I could see him as Leon.
Well, because I did read that his Resident Evil is going to have like nothing to do with any of the existing Resident Evil movies. So I don't think it's going to fit into like.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like the games. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was talking like Leon.
No, I know. I wasn't okay. I wasn't. Does it say which one he's doing? Is it like RE4 or is it just untitled Resident Evil Project?
Yeah, I think it's just untitled, and that was just me speculating. I don't know if the guy is playing Leon. I was just like,
he would be a good fit
visually. For it. Yeah,
yeah.
He kind of looks like it.
Did you see the 3 movies that Zach Cregger had as the inspiration for weapons? I thought that was interesting.
Let me see if I can. I did watch like an interview. I know he said Magnolia, or a lot of people have been saying Magnolia.
Yes.
I'm drawing a blank on the other one. That one I know just because a lot of people have been like referencing it. But yeah, I did watch a little like interview thing with him where he talks about like his inspirations. It was kind of
the other fun. 2 were Prisoners and Hereditary.
That's right.
Which like Prisoners vibes. I need to revisit Prisoners because the first time I saw that I really liked it, but I think some of the characters I was like, what's the point of these guys? The other family that had the kids go missing, I thought like, I don't know, something about it, but I do need to revisit it. But the Magnolia comparison is funny because of like the structure of like the way that it's all of the different people and like how their plots like intersect with each other. That's very similar to like Magnolia. But also if you look at John C. Reilly's character in Magnolia as like the incompetent cop who loses his gun, visually he looks exactly like Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Like down to the hairstyle and the mustache, and I guess you could say incompetence as a cop as well.
Yeah,
but I was like, holy shit, he's doing John C. Reilly.
Yeah,
but yeah, I knew it was an inspiration, but I did not realize it was going to be like that inspirational in terms of like the structure. Like obviously Magnolia is broken up into chapters. That's actually true, but it's more broken up into like. It's like weather forecasts. It's not like character names. Like there's like literally text on the screen that's like partly cloudy, 70 degrees or something like that.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But yeah, I did like that structure, especially with Marcus, who is Benedict Wong.
That's his name. Yeah, Marcus. Yeah.
When it was so sad. I liked him and his husband. I thought they were so cute. Like when they're at the grocery store and he's like, he's got the 2 boxes of cereal and he's like, which one do you want? And he's telling Julia Garner about like the how she should stay away from this kid while he's also like picking which Fruity Pebbles that he wants.
Yeah.
And then obviously the Whitest Kids homage with the 7 hot dogs. So great. And then that's some gnarly visual effects too when he smashes his husband's head in and like it caves in.
Yeah.
Ugh. And then when he gets hit by the car, like I feel like I've seen enough like accidental death Reddit gore to know that I was like, when I saw the bits and pieces of him like on the road splattered, I was like, that's extremely accurate to what that actually looks like. Because like I've seen some videos on Reddit before, and it's like that's you just kind of look like ground beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I rated this 4.5 on Letterboxd. Probably could go up, could go down. I don't know if it'd go down. I don't know. I do want to see it again. So I guess 4.5 on Letterboxd would translate to like an 8 edging onto like 9 territory.
Mm-hmm.
Really liked it. Really had a good time in the theater with it. When I got home, we live on the 6th floor of our apartment, and Chloe was home. She read the synopsis and was like, she thought it'd be too scary. Didn't want to go see it. And so I parked my car and I texted her and I was like, hey, come look out the window. And she looked down into the parking lot and I ran through the parking lot like that. And she's like, are you kidding me right now?
Nice.
Yeah, I was doing my little weapons Naruto run.
Yeah, Naruto run. I went with the 7. It didn't hit me as much as Barbarian. Barbarian was just such a good. I didn't know like much about this, but I knew like nothing about Barbarian, and that was such a great just like blind watch. And I'm glad. I'm not super big on like spoilers a lot of the time. Like I don't put much weight into them, I guess. But I would say with both of his movies would be ones where God damn, I've just had a frog in my throat all morning. Both of his movies, or both of these most recent movies of his, I would say are both movies that I would like try to preserve, like go into it with as little information as possible sort of thing. Just because of like the wild swings that he takes with both of them. And they might work, they might not, but I still think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, seeing Barbarian, I think that was what, you, me, and Jake. We were like alone in that theater. There was no one else in there.
So yeah.
And so I'm really happy for Zach Cregger, where like his first movie, like it was literally just us 3 in the theater, and I think it was probably out of theaters maybe within a week or 2. I don't know. I don't feel like it had that long of a theatrical run. So it's cool that like word of mouth and I guess marketing, I feel like they marketed the shit out of this movie. It was cool to see like a full theater of people like yes, hell yeah, I want to watch this.
Yeah, it was pretty full at mine theater too,
because seeing Barbarian with like nobody in the theater and feeling like nobody has seen it. I feel like now it's like kind of gained this little cult status where people are like,
yeah, for sure,
finally picking up on it. Hopefully this one gets a physical release. I'd like to own a copy of this. Barbarian still has not been released physically, like at all.
Yeah, that sucks.
Which is crazy.
Yeah. And I'm very interested and excited to see what he'll do with Resident Evil. Yeah. Cool. Okay.
Cool.
So we got another movie for the next episode. Also pre-pulled this one, so this is another not surprise to us. Again, just scheduling stuff. We're having to kind of move stuff around. So yeah, we're gonna be recording this one right after this. So
yep.
So anyways, the movie for the next episode is from 2005, directed by James Mangold, Walk the Line. So watch that before the next episode if you don't want to be spoiled for it. These episodes come out on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST on my God, YouTube in video form, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more in audio form. We also have social pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And with all that said, I'm dying. We're all dying. Waka waka. I'm TJ, and with me as always.
As always, this is me in your earpiece. Die. and I'm Nick.
And die.